Captain, good to see you. I know this'll sound crazy, but I need your help. The armies. I think I've come up with a way to turn the Assembly against Victor, but for it to work, I'm gonna need allies.
That's not crazy, Zach. He's out of control. Something needs to be done. The Army always remembers a good soldier's loyalty. Sure as hell can't help you officially, but we'll do anything we can for you under the table.
Get him! Traitor, get him!
They're supposedly signing a truce with Aurora. Can you imagine? After everything they've done, they attacked our city.
Typical backroom politics, keeping the little guys down. I don't mind so much, since if that's true, it'll bring my daughter back.
She's still fighting.
Hello there, Zachariah. What do I owe the...
Well, now that you're asking, with Victor and the ASC after me, my only options are to keep running or retaliate. To retaliate, though, I need some allies.
I know you're right. Know it's a worthy war you'll wage. Know I owe you. But I can't risk joining with you, Zachariah. Don't know you well enough to trust you with my life. Or the lives of my men. I am sorry. And, despite all that, I wish you the best.
No hard feelings. Had...
Hello there, Zachariah.
Hello there. Ready for a fight? A challenge? Good luck to you. Gather round, that a boy! Hello there. Good luck. And now, hello there. Good luck. And now, electric. That a bull! Good luck! Oh, my audience, are you fantastic! The new champion of Mars! You sure damned earned it. And your reward, of course.
Thanks.
Have you read the news on the walls? A prison camp right there.
That asshole Victor to fall, don't you? Alright. I mean, I don't really care what tactics we use, but I doubt everyone's gonna feel that way. I mean, holy shit, I bet Nisha's gonna blow a fucking fuse.
A pleasure as always, Zach Rook.
Truth is, I need allies if I'm gonna wage political war against Victor and the ASC.
You consider me an ally? I'm flattered, simply tickled. Even more so at the thought of watching that son of a bitch Victor fall. He was once an ally, but, well, lately the bastard's just been killing my business. Want to know a little secret? The big guy's a dabbler in affairs that are more associated with businessmen like myself. But never mind about that. I'd be happy to see him go. And just as happy to help a family member in need, of course.
I gotta go.
Then go.
Give yourself up! Oh! Give yourself up!
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
Trying to find out what happened to a young mutating man back in Ophir a few years ago. He got arrested then. After that, no one seems to know anything. You know anyone who could help me out?
Ophir's administration knows all, Zachariah. Any citizen, any story you're looking for can be found packed in nice little boxes. Problem is, those archives aren't really open to the public.
Thanks for the thought. I need allies to...
And so you come to me. Well, I'm sorry, Zachariah. Alliances of that magnitude must be built on trust. A trust you have not yet earned, I'm sorry to say. No offense taken, I hope, but this isn't for me. It's for the people of Noctis. For all the merchants across Mars. I can't frivolously put the well-being of all of them at risk. I wish you the best of luck.
Zachariah, I'm going to need your investigative talents.
What's going on?
You probably remember that someone turned in my mother. She was one of our backers in Ophir. Without her, our plans to smuggle out our brothers are quite impossible to happen. And I miss her a lot. And then there was Kane's attack while we were about to seal the deal with that Aurora official. Someone turned us to our enemies once again. This can't be sheer coincidence. Someone is trying to slow down our effort and impede our cause. Beyond the fact that what happened to my mother deserves vengeance, I must stop the one who is behind those betrayals, or he will end up making our young nation lose.
Are you thinking of someone in particular? Maybe Kane's men? After all, he did step in to scuttle the negotiations with the merchant.
No, only a few people knew my plans, and even fewer my mother's identity. Especially not Kane. I don't have a name, unfortunately, and that's why I'm asking for your assistance. It's probably someone close. Someone who lived in Ophir with a good excuse to travel to Noctis often.
All right, I guess...
Thank you, Zachariah.
Here's his file. Nathan Seeker, April 115. Advanced symptoms of mutation were found in the child that his parents were hiding. The mutant was immediately transferred to the mine of Eos Chasma. Parents were sterilized during the procedure.
Eos Chasma. That's southeast of Ophir.
There's an addendum. June 119, the mutant formerly known as Nathan Seeker was transferred upon request AA-1532. The details of it are classified top secret. AA is the code that the Army usually uses. He was then moved as part of a military operation.
My father disappeared January 119, before the kid was transferred. So weird. What do you think's behind this story of a top secret file? The hell does the Army have to do with all this?
I don't know, but we'll no longer learn anything else here. We should leave.
Hi, Zach.
Hello, Amelia.
I want to keep investigating. Remember what we found in the archives?
Yeah. So how do you want to...
We gotta find a way to get into the mill.
We don't even know where these files...
Ask her to read them and...
That road must have been taken...
That's not true, Zach. All he wanted was to find that kid.
Sure.
They don't exist.
Captain, I really need some information about Scott Seeker's son. Like, what happened to him after he got arrested?
You know how monitored we are, Zachariah? What do you want? I go poking around, we could find ourselves fired. Or worse.
Whatever we find isn't gonna bother anyone today, but it could bring some peace to the people who never stopped loving or wondering what happened to the boy. The more I learn about it, the more complicated it gets. I'm just trying to bring some peace, Captain. Just look into some dusty files. No one's gonna care.
All right. Hope you're right, Zachariah. We'll dig into the archives, but it'll take some time.
Tomorrow it is.
Traitor, get him!
Captain, good to see you. I really need some information.
You know how
Whatever.
All right. We'll dig into the...
Tomorrow.
Hi, Zach.
Hello, Amelia. What do you think of Phobos?
I don't really know what to think of him. He must have had a horrible life. He's a mutant, and we all know how they are treated. And you know, that liberation story, that mutant nation thing and all, freaks me out a little. He's very smart.
I bet you know the slums very well, given...
Well, yeah, and so what? It's a sort of ant farm where derelicts who can't...
Can you tell me more about the sheds?
You're quite curious. That's where we park, repair, and pamper the rovers. But we couldn't put them elsewhere anyway. We're not gonna cross the city every time we need to get out. Anyhow, if there's something you should do when you get into my sheds, it's this. When you come in, don't touch anything.
You must have traveled a lot.
You know, when I'm being sent out to explore, it's for prospecting. Wow, it doesn't sound as exciting now that I think about it.
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah.
When did you discover that you were...
The first symptoms, she was hoping I was sent to...
What can you tell me about it?
You saw for yourself. Violent slave drivers and harsh work conditions have reduced mutants to beasts, to the point where even some find themselves yearning to be pet. I do not hate humans, you know that. But when I think about that place, I feel outbursts of hatred. I would like to break the walls and see my brothers and sisters get out of that hell. Someday, I think that I'll do it.
What does Noctis represent for you?
It is the city of our allies. Without it, Mutant Valley would have probably never come into existence, even if some of them think the opposite. Here they can free themselves from the servile state they were in. Noctis is somehow the freedom school for many of them. Of course, it remains a human city, and I don't completely agree with Dandolo's decisions, but overall it is a place that I love that boasts of mixing everyone together, of bringing all philosophies into dialogue with each other, and of welcoming.
What do you think of Amelia?
She's an interesting young and courageous woman, but abundance brainwashed her. As long as she hasn't completely cut ties with the corporation, she will remain wary of everything, of anything foreign. I think that she has some pity for us mutants. That's more generous than what humans usually give us, but we don't need pity. We are a new people, not a gang of monsters regretting who they were. Maybe she will come to realize this. She is not stupid, and when it comes down to it, she has a thirst for freedom despite all the brainwashing she went through.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He is a hurt man. He hides his suffering under a cynical and detached attitude, but he lost way more than his arm, even if I do not know what it is. If you could help him heal his wounds and become what he ought to become, you will discover without a doubt that he is a very giving friend, and maybe he will be less bitter.
What do you think of Nisha?
She's an unusual woman, Zach. She was locked up, tortured when she was a child. She managed to get out of the situation, and despite what she went through, she went back to Ophir under a false identity. Believe me, you have to be strong to do that. She is the best possible spy. She helps us as much as she can by providing us with vital information on the slave transfers so that we can go free them. And I know that Dandolo respects her a lot. But watch out. She is far from being the sweet and smiling young woman you met in Ophir. She is brilliant, generous, and she can also be merciless.
What do you think of Scott?
He's a great scientist, most likely a very good doctor.
Is that it?
Something bothers me about him, Zachariah. No doubt he appreciates you a lot. I learned that he went through a hard time, but I have a feeling that his sweet eccentricity is hiding something. But I don't know what, therefore I won't say anything else.
Tell me more about Kane.
Kane is a second-generation mutant. He saw his parents die from bad treatment, and he ran away. He was very young. He managed to survive with a group of former slaves hidden in the canyons. He is proud, self-centered, to such an extent that he can't bear the thought of owing anything to a human. You have no idea how much he hates you all. He is a born war leader, but his hatred is such that it makes him do awful things. And sometimes irresponsible acts. He is very popular among the group of mutants who can't come to terms with the suffering they went through. They want to make their executioners pay, and Kane tells them what they want to hear. If he manages to lead all the mutants, Mars will enter a very bloody era. There will be a lot of casualties on both sides.
Who is Scum?
As far as I know, he was a mutant in one of Abundance's prisoner camps. He is a very wise one. That upheaval and the escape of a number of mutants made him famous among his people. There is no room for vengeance in his heart.
Captain, good to see you. So what did you learn?
Strange things. Scott Seeker was, apparently, much more respected back in the day. He even managed to convince the army at one point that he could heal and trigger mutation. The idea of triggering mutations apparently really got some interest, and the army launched a new division and put him in charge. Even brought him a few mutants to run tests on, and obviously never went anywhere. Nobody got healed. The program was shut down, and the mutants, including his son, were terminated. So sad. Almost makes you want to look at the old man differently.
Yeah, sure does.
Truly heartbreaking. Scott thought he could defeat nature. Even when his intentions were good, his son paid the price.
He did his best to save him and still lost everything. He didn't even know there was a place where mutants lived free.
If he tried working towards acceptance rather than playing dice with fate, his son would still be alive.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia. happened to find there, Amelia?
I don't know, debris? Tracks? Just something to help me understand how a top reacher like my dad could get lost on Eos Chasma, one of the easiest fucking roads on the planet.
My guess? He got into an accident. Something he couldn't avoid. It's happened to us, after all.
Maybe. I just want to find out. That's all I'm asking.
I fear I may be getting sick.
Sorry, Scott. I understand that looking for the remains of your best friend is probably painful, but Amelia deserves answers.
Sometimes the past just gives us answers we were afraid to know. I just hope that won't be the case this time.
Even if we find the rover wreck, it'd be easy pickings for a passing scavenger or thief. So there might not be much left.
The fuck you say that for?
Sorry, I just don't want you to get your hopes up.
Whoa, Amelia, ease up. I know you want answers, but it's probably best not to crash while looking for a crash site.
You kidding me? Wonder what you'd say if we actually went fast.
I guess everyone's version of moderate is different.
Your father's rover. Do you believe you'll be able to find clues explaining what happened?
And that's what I'm hoping. Most of the rovers still...
Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level. Looks like we found a tablet. And it still works.
Scott, I don't know if you'll ever get this message. It doesn't really matter now, I guess. Of my own peace, I just need to... So many things I wish I could tell you. My last thoughts and breaths are filled with regrets. I can't even blame you for sabotaging my rover. I was supposed to be your friend. I was supposed to be there for you. I was supposed to try to empathize with all the hurt and fear you were going through. But all I can bring myself to care about is making you stop obsessing about your son. Make you go back to being your old self for my own benefit. To have my old friend back. It was selfish. I was selfish. Even from the outset. The only reason I ever helped was just to help bring an end to the obsessing. And in the end, My own obsession with that goal led me to take away your son so you would stop. I wanted to take him so far away that you'd have no recourse but to give up hope. But you figured me out. You stopped me, and now I'm paying for it. I'm so thirsty. The rover is becoming unbearably hot. Unbearably hot. Forgive me, my friend, as I forgive you. Tell my daughter I'm sorry for not being courageous enough to keep her by my side. I should have fought for her. Stopped her from being taken away from me. Between the two of us, you were always the better father. Good to your boy. And here I am. Sid, never mind. Farewell, Scott. Take good care of Amelia for me, my friend.
I can't even... He was here the whole time? Not even that far from Ophir. If I ever find out who sabotaged his rover, who's responsible for him dying? You find something?
Yeah, I found this. There's a message on it, Amelia. One you're not going to be happy to hear.
Whatever it is, it's better than not knowing the truth. Give it.
Scott, I don't know if you'll ever get this message. Regret, it doesn't really matter. I can't even blame you for sabotaging my rover. I was supposed to be there for you. I was supposed to try to empathize with all the hurt. The only reason I ever helped was just to help bring an end to the obsessing so far away. And in the end, that you tell my daughter I'm sorry, but to give up courageous enough to keep her by my side. I should have fought for her. The rover. Take good care of Amelia for me, my friend.
Where the hell, Scott? Where is he? I found my father's rover and a tablet he left. You're a fucking murderer. And to think I called you a friend all these years.
What are you... What tablet? What...
You're gonna pay for his death. I promise I'm gonna make you pay.
Amelia, stop. You heard what the captain said. Scott launched an entire military program just to save his son. He did everything he could to help him, and it was all in vain. What he did to your dad? It was awful. But he was just doing whatever he could to save... Look at him. He's paid enough already.
I don't give a shit. I barely knew my dad because of him. You fucking pathetic old piece of shit. Get the fuck out. Just get out. Get out before I change my mind! Zach, I know I'm a lot to deal with. I got a shit-poor temper and I talk like a sewer, but I gotta say, no one's ever done anything for me. And you've gone out of your way to... I just never met a guy like you. Shit. It sucks being on the road with no privacy. If we did, it'd make you shoot more than a little electricity. That too forward? I'm no lady, Zach, but if you ever want to meet up without the others around...
Maybe not like a lady I've ever known, but I like you how you are. Sure. Next time we get a break, let's do it.
I'll pay a little visit to your room, then. Oh, the things I'm gonna do to you.
Sorry, Amelia.
Leave me alone.
This is what I feared. It is better to let the dead rest.
So, you guys don't think it's kind of toasty?
Amelia, look at me. You have to move on. You cannot change the past. All we can do is make the best of the time we have.
Shut up!
Look around.
I'm looking for mutants.
There are many.
Any of them still go back to Noctis regularly? Any that might have been close to Phobos back in the...
Fewer than many, for sure.
Stop. Don't do that. My friend here is only trying to help me with a personal issue. One of our own, I believe. Sabotage missions we took on to try and help Mutant Valley. We are trying to figure out who the...
So, someone with a grudge against you.
But they wouldn't have known about Phobos' mother.
Then someone from Kane's clan who was...
Sure. Goodbye, then.
Of course.
Can I come in?
Come here.
I may not be the perfect girl, Zach, but I think we make a kick-ass team. And I want to stay together. I can't believe I'm saying this, but... I think I love you.
We're together for the long haul, so you're stuck with me, kid. Amelia, I love you. Hi there. You know
I should hope so. It was him who freed me from the mine I was forced to labor in.
You are welcome. I hope we will all be free someday.
Someone tried to sabotage his plans. Maybe the mutants who used to be close to him. The ones that went to Ophir and Noctis.
Whether they went to Ophir or Noctis, I do not know. But I have heard the two of your right hands, Seth and Deimos, hold a grudge against you for abandoning them. And Seth, I have heard, has grown close to Cain.
In Mutant Valley?
No, not there. We saw them for a short time.
Thank you.
I cannot believe this.
Who are Seth and Deimos?
I escaped with Seth. He was one of my first companions. I would have died time and time again without his help in the desert. Would have never been able to succeed in my first attempts at seeding Mutant Valley. And Deimos is the radical type, but always a good companion who was integral in building Mutant Valley. We took our freedom names together.
Freedom names?
Names to take back our identities. Re-earn our dignity from names like dirt and scum that identified us before. When a mutant finally understands what freedom he has, he usually changes his name. And for such occasion, we have developed ceremonies. Deimos and I chose, together, the names of our planet's moons, the names of the sons of the god Mars in ancient Earth mythology. Names that gave us strength and pride, elevated us from the lows we had been dragged through.
Shit. I can't... They were like brothers to you, right, Phobos? Fuck, these days, who can you trust? Damn.
I don't want to feel like I can't trust anyone. Maybe it's just fate playing a cruel game. I chose to side with the humans at a great cost, only to be betrayed by my own brothers.
I think we got everything you need. You able to fix the pump now?
Yeah, I got this shit on lockdown. Give me the parts. Shouldn't take long.
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Sakura. Now that we are at full strength, we must devise a way to compromise Victor's popularity at the Assembly.
I've got a lead. There's this grizzled old general who's been bitching about the lack of info he gets about Aurora. Right now, he's the only one with the balls to call Victor the Dictator incompetent. According to him, the Aurora Dowser's down shit creek and may have been booted off his post. If we can prove that General is right and isn't just some senile old man, maybe the Army's head honchos will be pissed enough at the Colonel to kick his buns in the sun.
We would need hard evidence.
I'm almost positive that Dandolo can help us. Noctis sends merchants everywhere, after all.
We also have some connections with Technomancers over there. They should be able to tell us what happened.
We could try Anton. Aurora's a little far, but there's no place that's safe from Anton's little birds.
It's a start.
Even if abundance is run from the top down, members of the Assembly would pay attention to uprisings. Some of your local allies can help you stir up some anger in the masses. The ASC has made their lives miserable for months. People are arrested on a whisper, live huddled in fear. It would not take much to spark the powder keg.
And some politicians would turn against Victor, so as not to lose voter support. Brilliant! We would need instigators, preferably those in touch with the people's needs.
So I was thinking, the opposition would be the perfect organization to spearhead the revolts. The alternative, though I would be more hesitant, the Vori could likely produce the same results with different methods.
Perfect. Other ideas?
Back when I was an artist, I got into some altercations with Assembly members who thought my shows were blasphemy. Maybe it was because I didn't say Hail to the Shadow 50 times. I can't say for sure, but if we could get them to think that Victor isn't a devout believer, we could get the large religious sect of the Assembly to revoke their support and demand his banishment. Or we could just give them a little nudge in the right direction by making them believe Victor steals relics for his own use.
We'd have to stage an elaborate setup, but I like it. After all, Trickster must get what he gives. We'll need volunteers that could pretend to be ASC. The plan is right up Anton's alley. It's possible for Dandolo or the opposition to help us out too.
One last thing. I was told the High Judge endorses all of Victor's decisions, even though I know for a fact that he hates him, which is more than a bit strange. The judge is such an honest man.
Or if you're in the mood to make a scandal, I've got everything we need. Did you know that Victor employs young women to worm out information on men he keeps tabs on? And I'm not Victor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, the Assembly would have a major meltdown. Their beloved colonel, a pimp. To find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
If Anton's letting it happen on his territory, there's probably some kickbacks in it for him. So, since he's not gonna help us, we need to gather first-hand intel ourselves. I could start asking former prostitutes, but...
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Victor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to silence him.
Yes, we should get to the bottom of this and see if it's serum, dirty laundry, or both. Anton probably knows. And if he is openly corrupt, the opponents of the Assembly should know him well.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Victor from his support network.
But?
This is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Victor was the one who couldn't keep them in check. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble minds.
No, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now let's make them happen. Hi.
Zachariah, to what do I owe this privilege?
I got your well taken care of. No more creature, and it runs like new.
A man of your word. Take this for your time and help. And if you have more time to help us, a serious matter has come to my attention. Our observers in Ophir report that a mutant group there now faces execution. Punishment for refusing to complete their tasks.
Probably fixing the city's shutters. Aurora's attacks blew a hole in Ophir's roof, considering how important it is to get it fixed.
Humans hurt other humans and mutants face death. Yes, well, they are being held apart from the rest. They must be saved, Zachariah.
I'll do what I can. Can't guarantee anything.
Your best is better than our nothing. My brothers in Ophir have...
Greetings, Zachariah.
Rumor is Aurora's dowser was deposed. I need to know it's more than rumor, though. If it's true, we might be able to convince some members of the Assembly that Victor needs to go.
Even though I don't like the idea of continuing the conflict between Abundance and Aurora that has caused so much suffering, if it's what needs to be done to dethrone Victor, I have a few contacts among Aurora's Technomancers. They're not quite brothers, but they're at least like cousins. And I've heard their messengers nearly always follow one particular shadow path. Let me show you. This one here. If you go, you may be able to stop one of their couriers. If the news you're expecting is as important as you say, I'm sure it will be in the documents they are carrying.
Thanks, Melvin.
Zachariah, I've received a message from Dandolo. He has some information on the disappearance of patients.
Really? Did he learn where he was taken?
The ASC had him locked up in an old dome near Ophir. In his message, he says that it's a dome that Technomancers used to use. Does this sound familiar to you?
Hard to forget. Yes. That's where initiations would take place before a mantis destroyed everything. We'll have to go free him. The place must be teeming with soldiers fighting for Victor. But we can't leave the old Technomancer in their hands. Is something bothering you?
How could you, Zack? An alliance with the largest criminal organization on the planet? What were you thinking? Can't you see they're using you? They'll use your connections to leapfrog to the top of the corporate food chain, and then nobody will be able to stop them.
So you're hoping I fail?
Let's not play that game. You know I want the best for you. But I can't bring myself to work for those crooks. I'm sorry, Zack, but you'll have to go on without me. I think I'll stay in Mutant Valley for a bit, but if you ever need anything but this, come find me. I'll always have your back, Zack. It's just, if I did this, I could never forgive myself for letting the Vori run rampant.
I understand, Nisha. See you later then, mate.
Good news. I have enough water for my plants again.
Yes, all thanks to Phobo's human friends. Without this well, we would have lost countless animals and crops.
And with the perpetual arrival of refugee brothers, we probably would have run out of water too.
We could have rationed in a state of emergency, but now that's one less thing to worry about.
Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
Look around.
Please, Seth, let me live. I did nothing.
You betrayed your people. Never stopped being a slave. Supporting Phobos, who is more human than mutant. You deserve to die!
Seth, please! Allow me to take shelter!
Seth, it is you who are the traitor. If your hate for me is so great, let Deimos go and come after me. Let your rage be fulfilled.
Thank you. Thank you for helping. I thought that was the end.
Why?
Why what? Why did I turn in your mother? Ruin your plans with that man from Aurora? Because you, Phobos, are a traitor. Closer to your human mother than to us. Your own kind. I thought cutting that cord might pull you back to us. I was wrong. Even now, you leave us to go with that human. For what? While idiots like Deimos dote on you, defend you, swear you have had your reasons. Cain may be savage, but at least he knew where his loyalties lay. Remembers what we all went through.
Does your hatred have no ends, Seth? Does the cancer still spread through you?
It's my turn to ask why, Phobos? Why did you abandon me?
Things could have transpired for Aurora to dismiss their own dowser. It's almost common knowledge that he was responsible for the victory over Abundance.
Maybe we'll find out a bit more when we catch the messenger. You a messenger?
Look, I can't tell you anything. Please, if I can't. The information I have is...
I know, but you're gonna have to comply. Train stopped. I'm gonna need your tablet and all the information that you can provide me about your dowser.
What? I would never jeopardize Aurora.
Either way, you're gonna give me what I want. You can give it to me, or I can pry it from your cold, dead hands.
You don't understand. Now, if I tell you, they will kill me. Either way, I will never be able to return to Aurora. Our dowser, Wisdom, was dismissed, executed. Take my tablet. It has anything else you want to know. Now please, please leave me alone. Please.
So, why have they decided to go at it without their war hero?
Don't know yet. Word is it was treason, but in times like this, that can mean anything. It's chaos there.
That sounds bad for Aurora, especially given the facts. This is where you were initiated.
Yeah, but the dome was in better condition. The ASC weren't here. There was a giant mantis, though.
A giant mantis? Don't tell me that was part of the initiation.
No, the area had decoys dressed as thieves. The monsters were unplanned. So I learned a lot from the experience. If it weren't for my master, I would have died down there.
Must be strange coming back. All the memories.
Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
Patience! Wake up! Patience, come on! Damn it, they almost killed him.
Stop! Let me go. I won't tell you it. Zach? Zach, holy shit, is it really you?
What the hell happened to you?
I was on the way back to my place. There was someone behind me, and before I could turn, he was on me. Next thing I knew, I woke up in a cell. They tortured me for days. Wanted me to talk, wanted me to tell them everything I knew about you. Where you were, what you were doing, what we found.
You figure out what the tablet said?
Unfortunately. If I hadn't, then I wouldn't have been able to tell them anything, but I just finished when they found me.
What did you tell him?
At the beginning I fought, Zach. I did. I fought. Didn't say a damn thing. Then Victor came. And the shit he did to me, Zach. You have no idea. I didn't tell him everything. I didn't, but I had to tell him something. Or I told him what I found in the tablet. Everything. I'm so sorry.
Stop. It's fine. You did what you could. Everyone's got a breaking point. What did it say?
It talked about a giant research base that was able to keep in contact with Earth. They had a beacon, and gave the base's coordinates. I mean, the coordinates weren't up to date anymore, so I had to recalculate them, but it's in the South Pole, Zach. It's protected by a huge layer of ice.
If you can walk, we need to get out of here.
I can. Let me try. Just let me rest a minute. Just a minute.
All right, let's untie you and get you out of here.
Must find the City of Ice before they do, Zachariah. If Victor finds the beacon, he could use it to gain the people's trust. Furthermore, if he finds the secrets buried there...
He's got a head start, but we'll catch him.
Aye aye, Zach. If it's really the City of Ice...
What?
I'll have to make some mods. It'll be tougher than you think. Also, wear an extra layer or two if you don't want to freeze your nuts off.
Big Ice City. That reminds me of...
A tangent that'll lead to another tangent?
No, Yes, that was it.
As long as Victor has the Assembly's blessing and the full support of the ASC, it'll be pointless to look for that city. With this huge resource advantage, he'd beat us there every time.
What do you think we'll find in that lost city? You know, besides the beacon. I suspect the settlers brought back plants and animals from Earth, and probably left some in that base. And if just a few survived, we could find an ecosystem unlike any on Mars, completely sheltered by the ice.
Meet Patience. We just broke him out of one of the ASC's jails. He could use a place to recover.
Then he is welcome to recover here. Our healers, Patience, will be honored to tend to your wounds.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. All this reminds me of an old hiding spot I had in the desert. Thank you again, both of you.
This is real nice and all, but I don't know about all this.
About what?
I'm guessing you're gonna want to go to that city, right? Right. Problem is, that city's coordinates, according to what Patience said, is the South Pole. Rover's good, but it ain't that good.
Any way to make it that good?
I don't know. Gotta think about it. I mean, it'd need some sort of ice-breaking blade in the front and insulation around the whole thing.
If I know you, I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I like your faith in me, but... Problem is, I don't have a damn clue how to add all that heavy shit to the rover's frame without slowing it down like fucking crazy. My dad would have known what to do. Not my dad, though. I knew he'd made improvements to his machines, but I don't remember seeing any diagrams. Though they could be somewhere in the shed. I don't know. Maybe Scott could help us?
We can ask, I guess, then head to the shed with him. See what we find.
Gonna be damn fucking cold out there, Zach.
Maybe we should go borrow some gear from Victor. He's known the site's coordinates a lot longer than we have. I'm sure he's built some cold weather equipment already.
I like the way you think, Zach.
Zachariah, you...
Do you like Nisha?
Yes, I like that little one. First, because she saved your life, and then because she's a charming young woman. Very bright. I really wonder why she spends so much energy on that lost city. I am sure that she could have had a wonderful future with us. Even though you have to recognize that Abundance's spies are much less pleasant. Just the thought of that awful Victor.
How long have you known Amelia?
Since she was a kid. She was quite a cute child, yet so agitated. She's actually no different. She is still agitated and doesn't realize the risks she takes. Mark was more cautious. I really hope that she'll become more careful. I would be very sad if something happened to her. Sometimes I have the feeling that she thinks I'm a tiresome old man. It would be a problem. I mean, I'm not that annoying, am I?
What do you think of Andrew?
He looks like you. He has a lot of talent, you know. It is too bad that he is bitter. He makes me think of your master. What was his name again? Ah, yes, Sean. It sounds like he is after the whole planet. It is a pity for such a young man.
What do you think of Phobos?
He's an interesting character, no doubt about that. He shows great intelligence, which shows that mutation doesn't affect cerebral faculties, at least the first generation. And to a certain extent, I understand his desire to improve the mutants' living conditions. We are terribly unfair to them, that's for sure. They are sick, and instead of helping them, we treat them like slaves. However, I think that he is going a little too far with his mutant nation story. I don't see why they should create a mutant nation on its own. He should instead make people within the corporations think differently.